Hello and welcome to my veteran Malestorm Arena guide. This is a guide for the average player by an average player, and we're up to stage 9, the Theatre of Despair. Now the Theatre of Despair has pretty much two stages in it, stage 9 and the final stage. They just take place in the same arena, so to speak. So when we get in there, I'll pause the video and we'll go over some basic mechanics. But before you come in here in the last round, before you go through the portal, you want to make sure that you're repaired, that you have fresh food, and your pots are in good order, etc. Because you don't want your food running out halfway through the final boss or a round boss. So the rounds in here will escalate in difficulty as we progress through the stage. The trash mobs in here vary really from healers to sword and board dragon knights, dual wield night blades. We have spectres crisscrossing the arena that give you frost damage if you touch them, right through to lava spilling onto you if you get too close to the edge of the arena. The trick is knowing what's coming next and choosing what sigils to use at what time, and I'll explain this as we go through the stage. So let's jump in and get right to it. So this is the layout of the arena when you load in. As you can see, the sigils are placed nice and close together. That helps immensely. Now for the first round here, we're just going to have your basic trash mobs spawn, so it'd be healers, dual wield archers. Not too worried about what trash mob I burn down quickly. I just choose the side here with the two portals because I can line both of them up with my AoE, so Wall of Elements Refreshing Path, and I just burn the closest one down and then concentrate on the others. Now I know that the final round boss here is a Fire Daedroth. You're going to have to face some of these in coming rounds without an ultimate, so I suggest that you pay attention to how I handle them without ultimates. With Soul Tether they're generally pretty easy, but without Soul Tether you need to lay down your AoE before they spawn, and then really lay into them with light attack and funnel health weave, and then get to an execute stage quickly before they initiate their fire, wildfire breath I think it's called, because that will hurt us really quickly and it will kill us really quickly as we're vampires. Now so just for starters, if you're having trouble or just want to get you clear, obviously definitely take your sigils. So I strongly suggest at the start of each round is taking the health regen sigil for at least the first 2 rounds. Take the health regen sigil, burn down the first couple of waves of adds, and then when you know that your round boss is going to spawn, take your defense sigil, your shield sigil, and that's going to help immensely. Now as you can see at the top left hand corner of the screen, you can see the first frost spectre there spawning in. Now there'll be 4 crisscrossing the arena at all times, okay? And these will spawn and aim for you intentionally if you sit in the one spot for too long. So by keeping moving around when they spawn, they may not cross over your path. They do have a tendency to get attracted to mobs that don't spawn, that don't move much at all. So you'll notice that an important mob that we need to burn down quickly, that the spectres seem to crisscross them to stop you from stacking on them. I don't know whether that's RNG, but I do feel it's intentional, whether there's something in the coding there just to keep you on your toes. Now if you touch these, you'll get frost damage and you'll get snared. The damage is around 8k damage. It's not a big hit, but it is enough to, if you're already on low health, it will finish you. But don't be afraid to take one if you have to. Just put up a shield, then walk into it, because sometimes it's easier just to take a hit from one of these frost spectres rather than avoiding it rolling into fire or some type of AoE. Definitely just take the hit from the frost spectre if you have to. Now there's also going to be gold spectres spawning, and they'll make a distinctive noise like a screaming, squealing noise, and you'll get an ear for these. Now you need to intercept them quickly and gather them up, and I do believe once you get 3 you're able to hit a synergy that gives you spectral explosion, which will pretty much just freeze and stun everything in the arena for a certain amount of time. So the frost spectres disappear, any mob that's up at the time will be stunned, and any mob that spawns in while that spectral explosion is in effect will also spawn in stunned. So it's a very powerful thing, but unfortunately these golden spectres are attracted to enemy mobs, so whether it be the mages, archers, etc., they're going to be attracted to them, and if any of these mobs get them, it seems to enhance them quite a bit, so they get more spell physical resistance, so they get more damage, and they gain a few extra mechanics, so they seem to spit out their special attacks a lot quicker, deal a lot more damage. They seem to dodge a lot more attacks and just become very annoying in general, so we want to try and avoid that. So refreshing path is good here for us for our speed. Heals us, gives us major expedition, I do believe, and helps us get around the map a lot quicker. And also, you can also stack that speed sigil. So if you're struggling to get to these things, don't be afraid to take the speed sigil. It stacks with, all sigils stack with each other, so don't be afraid to take it if you need it. So we'll just keep playing through here, and I'll try and explain things as best I can. So just for the first 2 rounds, take the health regen sigil, burn down 2 waves of trash, and then take your shield sigil. So as always, line up your portals and then lay down AoE. Take down the one mob as quickly as possible. Work on the others. Be sure to interrupt that take aim. We definitely don't want that, it's a one shot, and we just keep chipping away here. Now every now and then these archers will dodge an attack. If they do, just be careful what you throw at them after that, because they will dodge, I think, 1 or 2 attacks afterwards. And remember to keep collecting those golden spectres, very important. Now the round boss here is spawning in. We lay down our AoEs, and then quickly burn down. Now you can use an ult here if you want. If you're doing this for the first time, you're definitely going to have that shield sigil up. It's going to help you immensely, but you can ult if you want to there, but I chose not to. So second round here, toward the end, we're going to have the second last wave is going to be a fire Daedroth, and then the last round boss is going to be a fire ogre. So as you can see, we have a spectral explosion up, but I want to chew down these trash mobs because I don't want to waste it on the trash, so I quickly burn them down to force the next lot of mobs to spawn, and that's where I want to use it, because I know a fire Daedroth is going to spawn along with one other trash mob. So I'll quickly use it. It spawns in stunned, and it gives me time to burn it down quickly without an ult. So not a problem there, and then work on the on the trash mob that spawned in with it. The final round boss here is going to be a fire ogre and two sword and board adds. Now I find that these sword and board adds are more deadly than the actual ogre themselves. So I'd burn them down first. So by all means, I probably should have used a soul tether there, but for some reason I didn't. I somehow do that. I like to hoard my ult for some silly reason. But that would have been the place to use a shield sigil. Would have helped immensely there. And we're into round 3. So round 3 we'll see a fire Daedroth and a healer spawn first. I like to burn the healer down first because it will heal this Daedroth back to full health, and it breaks your heart to just watch your DPS doing nothing. Be sure to stop this take aim. Again, it's a one shot, so keep a close eye out for that, and remember to get these spectral explosions. Now we have a spectral explosion here up, but again I want to burn this sort of mini boss here down. It's a two-hander. Just be careful of the chains and his explosion. He'll also lay a rune on the ground. Do not walk into that. It's very, very nasty. So now that he's down, we use our spectral explosion, and again we want to chew this two-hander down so he doesn't CC us and die as a result. And the Ogrim generally goes down quite easy. Now this is the final round boss, so to speak, the Daedroth and two trash mobs. So I like to try and bunch them up and then pop Soul Tether. It keeps us up nicely. Remember, the more mobs that are in that Soul Tether, the better we stay alive. So round 4 is a bit different. You'll have these mages that spawn in and slowly walk to the centre, and they'll channel over a rune stone. Now, if this rune stone gets channeled on for a certain amount of time, it will spawn in a bone colossus, and he will mess up our day, like you wouldn't believe. So we don't want him to spawn at all. So that's why we're quick onto these mages that are coming into channel. So there's the channel, and the channel time is collective. So if this mage does 5 seconds and the next mage does 5 seconds, that's a total of 10 seconds towards the total amount of channel time. So so we really need to get onto them as quick as possible. Again, just face tanking this Daedroth, trying to save our ults here. Get these mages down quickly, and don't forget the spectral explosion. Now I do have a spectral explosion here, but I know that this next wave is quite easy. It's just one healer fire mage and one chanting mage. Generally a quick burn, so I generally save my spectral explosion, but unfortunately it runs out and I don't get to utilise it. Now this wave here is probably one of the more difficult. You'll have two mages walking towards the middle to channel, and a fire Daedroth, so I suggest working Harness Magicka into your rotation here. I burn the mages down first to stop that channel time, and then work on the fire Ogrim. He's generally pretty easy, just more annoying than challenging. Just stay out of the AoE and try and stay away from them, because they do have a nasty melee attack. Now I died there a few times, so I cut that out. I'll show them at the end of the video. But yeah, they were just silly deaths on my part, nothing special. Round 5 we'll see a fire Daedroth and a trash mob spawn. And a trash mob is not a healer, so we're not too worried about burning the trash down first. More so the fire Daedroth. And then we'll have this Ash Titan spawn in. Now you want to position yourself next to the shield sigil here, like I have, but probably a little bit closer to the boss. So when he knocks us back, in a mechanic that he does, he knocks us back directly on top of the shield sigil, and then we take that shield sigil, and that allows us to survive that fire wave there. But as you see, I didn't take it because I just want to get used to not using it. But that's what you do in normal circumstances. Helps immensely, and it helps when these extra adds spawn in. So again, we have ult up. We want to group them all up, pop Soul Tether, and burn them down. Unfortunately, the archer wasn't in range of the Soul Tether. Most annoying, but we get him down there in the end. Now, I do believe there's one lot of trash mobs here. And then a fire Ogrim for the final round boss, which seems a bit anticlimactic after the Ash Titan there in the middle. Bit of an odd one, but we get it done. And that pretty much is the end of stage 9. Yeah, so we've made it this far, and it's onwards to the final round.
You like a supernova, you light up my dark. You burn me like fire and tear me apart. And when I think it's over, you suck me in like a black hole. magic got me hypnotized. Feeling so scared, need you to save me. It's like you're my savior and my demise. You're like